From the old Naval Hospital to 526 to his 14 years on Charleston County Council, I speak exclusively with Charleston County Council member Teddie Pryor for a special edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And be sure to download the free Quintin's Close-Ups app in your Apple or Google Play stores. And listen to this interview later on the free Quintin's Close-Ups iHeartRadio podcast. Teddie Pryor.
Quintin,
it's so good to see you, man.
Always my pleasure to see you. It's been a while, but it's always good to see you. Hope your family and everybody is okay.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, you said it's been a while. Catch me up and tell me, what is it like for you, Teddie Pryor, to be on county council these days?
Well, I tell you, I was talking to a colleague of mine, and it's going on 14 years since I've been on council, being in the W2, the longest serving. And this last couple of years has been a battle, with false information being put out, the Charleston Courier doing, hit articles. It's discouraging, but you can't let that get you down. You got constituents you promise to serve and to move forward. And these next 4 years, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to dedicate, like I did when I first came on council, to make things happen in our community, for my constituents and for all constituents of Charleston County.
You talk about that false information. What do you want to be the truth right now?
Well, the Charleston Courier keeps bashing about the Naval Hospital, putting out misinformation. That's somehow I personally, was the problem. I was the cause of the Naval Hospital going south. But knowing that's not true, I have facts, I have papers, the judges order. I have all that information. But nobody never took the time to sit down and ask me, what went on. But on county council, it takes 5 members of council to move anything forward. And so for them to say it's one person, either me or Elliot or the mayor of Charleston, that's totally false. And I've been silent, but I won't be silent anymore because I refuse to, to have people just keep saying the same thing over and over. It's like an infomercial. If you keep saying it, somebody's going to believe it.
What is the truth? The whole truth and nothing but the truth when it comes to Naval Hospital?
Well, the truth is, when our staff brought it to us, it was a great idea. It was an 8-1 vote to move it forward, release it to the first, second, and the 8th floor, and bring our day oldest program down there, drug abuse program, and consolidate some services there. Well, the contractor kept dragging out, things, and on our side we kept changing some things and delay. And in 2015, when I gave up the chairmanship in 2014. A new Greater Council decided they wanted to move in another direction. And a letter was sent out saying that the lease would be canceled effective in June. Well, they didn't cancel the lease. They kept dragging it out for a year or so. And so the judge's order say, y'all basically had these folks to go in and do certain things, and y'all stretched them out. And so the judge's order was either you pay them $29 million, divide the lease out, and we own nothing, not even a building. And so Mr. Darby and myself, asked, well, why won't we just make an offer for everything? And that's when we got the building and was able to buy it at least for $33.5 million.
And obviously, when you talk about you and Mr. Darby, obviously you kept in mind the community that surrounded.
The community that was surrounded, because these folks have been promised so much. If you go down Quintin and look now, you see the ports. It's coming right across the street. You got the bridges and the roads. I mean, it's hard. You got to maneuver like you're going through a landmine to get in and out of your own neighborhood. It's not fair to the people. I mean, the incinerator was down there for 25 years. They put up with that. And so they deserve to have a medical place where they can go and get services. They deserve to have a grocery store down there where they can shop. And so this is going to be a medical hub as well as a transportation hub, as well as once that starts to develop, it will be easier to attract a grocery store. And so I'm committed to seeing this process go all out and finish. Now you got the ULI, the Urban Land Institute, you got the Conservation League, and you got some other folks trying to say, we need this over there, we need that over there, affordable housing, we need apartments. My preference is we take care of the Charleston County needs first. And then after we take care of what we need, if land's available and somebody's come up with some great ideas, what we can do with the remainder, I'm all ears. But until that is done, where we actually, do what we said we was going to do, I'm not willing to do anything other than, hey, let's find space for our folks to come for day orders and our drug treatment program, and other services that needed in that area, and then we move forward. But I found it strange for the same folks that were fighting you years ago are now trying to join alliance because it's in their best interest.
What is in their best interest when it comes to Naval Hospital? I know you can't get in their mind, but
I can't get in their mind. Obviously, there's no more land downtown. They're landlocked. And so everybody wants to come this way now. Everybody's moving north into North Charleston. If you look at what the Post and Courier has done, you know, from King, Columbus, over to Main Street, all these big high-rise apartments, all these big buildings, there's no more land, there's no place for people to go. So the least affluent people are being pushed out. And so with all the land that's available in North Charleston, everybody's migrating north now. But for the conservation need to call me and ask me, so say, could you meet with us? We got some ideas. That seems kind of strange because these were the same people fighting it all before.
You talk about obviously everyone migrating to North Charleston, and obviously you work with the city of North Charleston as well. How do you deal with growth right now?
Well, you know, we try to accommodate everybody. You know, our economic development is exploding in North Charleston. You know, we have anywhere from 300,000 to 400,000 cars that travels through the city of North Charleston on a daily basis, either going to work and going back home. And so the mayor has done an excellent job. You know, he's had an excellent plan to accommodate this. We are growing. We want to be the third largest city in the state, probably soon to be the second.
Sure.
And, you know, with his vision and his plan, we've done a lot. And, you know, we don't turn people down. You know, the housing industry, as you know, in North Charleston, you know, is Quintin. I just can't believe the prices these people are getting for a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom in Wayland, Dorchester, $1,500 a month. That's more than a house note. But folks need places to stay, and so actually, that's going to drive the market up. Okay, supply and demand. And so as long as there's a need, you know, the prices are going to be driven up. But, you know, $1,500 a month, that you could buy a house if your credit is good, or you could get in, you could buy a house on a 30-year note, and your payment would be less than $700 a month. But the problem most folks have is getting a down payment, getting the credit to get established to get in. You know, once they get in, instead of paying $1,500, they can pay half of that and actually own. So my vision is to try to get these folks, you know, acclimated and trained on how to become homeowners versus renters.
And let me talk to you more about projects. Obviously, it's about 526. Charleston County Councilman Elliott Summey recently wrote to his colleagues, according to the Post and Courier, that the parties have agreed to extend the deadline until January 10th. He says this, quote, "The parties have made significant progress in negotiating the terms of the amendment." For those who don't know, what are those terms of the amendment?
Well, I don't want to get into it, because some of this is attorney-client privilege and confidential.
Sure.
But obviously, the SIB Bank, along with us, were tasked to work out the financial differences. We have submitted a plan to the SIB on how we plan to pay for the remainder of 526. So the SIB is reviewing that right now along with the governor's office. And once that is done and we come to an agreement, we will start to move forward. But remember, $450 million was already set aside for that 526 project. I keep hearing it's going to be $750 billion. I keep hearing it's going to be $1 billion. Well, obviously, it's going to be $750 to $1 billion if we keep delaying. Years ago, this stuff could have been done for probably $600 million or less. And I still don't think it's going to cost $750 million to complete this project.
You talk about those financial differences. What are they?
Well, the SIB actually is the way I see it, not holding up to their commitment, but they actually was the $420 million. They said, okay, we're gonna give you a remainder, but the other $300 million, you got to tell us where it's going to come from. This is the first project in my memories that the SIB never finished or required somebody else that says, okay, you got to guarantee us where the money is going to come from. We did the same thing with the Arthur Ravenel Bridge. They didn't say, okay, you got to guarantee us where the money is going to come from. We went out and decided a commitment, but we're going to pay so much every year. And we still, you know, are holding up to that commitment. If you look at other projects across the state, nobody's ever going to require you to do what they're trying to put on us. But obviously it's personalities, and we're not going to get into that because I just want the project to move forward. And so January 10th, I think this will all be wrapped up. And those folks that oppose it, they keep saying that the majority doesn't want it. That's not true. Anna Johnson just got reelected, standing for 526. There's a lot of undercurrent saying folks who were opposing her said, "Oh, we don't want 526. Are we going to vote her out of office?" Well, Anna's still in office. So it's easier to work with somebody, and of course we have differences. Okay, I've been married for 40 years. Me and my wife have differences, but that doesn't mean I don't love her. We work out our differences and we move forward. So some folks take it personal, but it's never personal. It's always business with me.
And you talk about Anna Johnson. Obviously, joining Anna Johnson on county council will be Jenny Honeycutt.
Yes.
Talk to me about how you work with those people once again.
Well, Quintin, we are too close to the people to be so partisan. If you have a heart attack and you want EMS, you don't care whether that person is Republican or Democrat, you want service. When you went to a trash collector, fire and police, you want service. And so, to me, I do whatever it takes to get things done. I'm not aligned to the party, I'm aligned to the people. And I think once folks understand that it's not about the party, it's about the people on the local level, we can move forward, we can get things done a whole lot faster. A lot of things we have gotten down on county council, it wasn't because it was Democrat or Republican, it was because it was the right thing to do. And, folks decided it's in the best interest of Charleston County that we move forward.
Teddie Pryor, thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate this.
Well, thank you, my friend, and don't make it so long.
All right, sir.
Always my pleasure.
Likewise. All right. Yeah.